Right before entering the exam room, my pen suddenly disappeared. I was about to go buy a new one when my brother shoved a pen into my hand. Knew you'd forget something, I already prepared one for you. I smiled and took the pen, but then suddenly got a message. This is you from 10 years in the future. Whatever you do, do not use the pen your brother gave you. It's a pen that can transfer scores. It will transfer your exam results to your dear sister-like friend, Lan. At first, I thought someone was playing a prank, but when I looked up, I saw my brother whispering and laughing intimately with Lan. With just one more glance, I immediately handed that pen to the top student in class before entering the exam room. My brother ran over and reminded me, Xiaoqi, make sure to use this pen. I got it blessed for you at the temple. Just because you're smart doesn't mean you shouldn't believe in some spiritual things. I even carefully checked your exam permit and ID. For every little detail. I really couldn't believe it. The brother who grew up with me could actually harm me this much. That's right, Xiaoqi, don't be so ungrateful, always acting like you're better just because you're smart. You have to understand college entrance exams also need a bit of luck. Listen to your brother and use that pen. The two of them, one speaking, one echoing, looked no different from a real married couple. Seeing how they acted made me believe the message even more. I was about to open my mouth to confront them, but then I thought today is the college entrance exam, better not stir up trouble. I just nodded gently and walked into the exam room. When I handed in the final paper, my high school life officially came to an end. Stepping out of the room into the golden sunset, my brother and Lan were already waiting at the exam gate. How was it I thought the questions this year were easy? It's easy now. Lan affectionately linked arms with my brother. I said with a bit of pride, who knows, maybe this year I'll surpass Xiaoqi and become the top scorer of City A. I really didn't understand where she got that kind of confidence. Lan wasn't at the bottom of the class, but she was always near the end. I had tutored her before, but it didn't help much. If it were a normal exam, getting into a college at all would already be an achievement. Really? Then did you finish the last 3D geometry question? Could you follow the English listening section? Did you understand the entire reading passage in the literature essay this year? I bombarded her with questions, making Lan's face stiffen. In the end, she pouted and buried herself into my brother's chest. My brother immediately snapped, Xiaoqi, do you even know what manners are? Why are you pushing her like that? Seeing how he defended Lan like that, it felt like she was actually his real sister. What do you mean? I feigned innocence, smiling brightly. I couldn't do those questions myself, so I just wanted to ask the top scorer of the city a bit, is that so wrong? The moment I said I didn't finish the test, Lan seemed triggered. She instantly jumped out of my brother's arms, screaming, You didn't finish those questions. My brother also panicked and asked, Xiaoqi, don't joke about your test results. Seeing their frantic expressions, I became even more certain the pen had been switched. I pretended to be hurt. It's all because of the pen you gave me. The moment I picked it up, I froze. I couldn't write anything. I left so many questions unanswered. Impossible, you always rank first in the whole grade. Even if you didn't do well, you wouldn't drop out of the top 10. How could you not write anything? You're definitely lying. Why would I lie? One of you is my biological brother. The other is my closest sister. What would I gain by lying to the two of you? I really didn't do well. Hearing me say that, Lan completely lost it and lunged at me. You did this to sabotage me, didn't you? Now I won't be able to get into university. Panicking, I hid behind my brother. What are you talking about? I just didn't do well. What does that have to do with you? My brother, knowing full well there was more going on, quickly pulled Lan back and tried to calm her. It's okay. She's just saying nonsense because she's too worried about you. You go home first, I'll take Lan back. After seeing the two of them off, I received another message from my future self. You still used the pen your brother gave you. Why hasn't the future changed at all? I quickly typed back on the screen, I didn't use it. I gave that pen to the worst student in class instead. While both me and the me from the future were still confused, not understanding what had happened, my brother suddenly reappeared. He and Lan had completely changed their attitude from earlier, now grinning brightly at me. "You brat! How dare you scare us? Turns out you're the top scorer and still had the nerve to lie." A chill ran through me, goosebumps creeping up my spine. Based on my own calculations, my exam score this year really did surpass last year's top scorer in the city, but even I wasn't entirely sure how did they know Lan was obviously thrilled, chirping to my brother. "Don't forget, okay, you promised if I got into Qing University, you'd be my boyfriend." My brother chuckled dotingly and pinched her nose. "You silly girl, still so childish." Then he turned to me. "The exam's over, let's go on a trip. I'll pay, let's just relax for a bit." "I'm not going," I replied. Lan pouted. "Fine, don't go, you always ruin the mood. Me and your brother will go, just the two of us." My brother quickly grabbed my hand. "Don't say nonsense. You're my real sister. Of course we'll take you too. Let's go, come on. Mum and Dad aren't home during this break. I won't feel at ease leaving you alone. He's my brother after all. We grew up together." As long as he softened his voice a little, I'd usually cave in. But just then my phone buzzed. A message: "Don't go. They plan to sell you off to the mountains and let Lan take your place at university." I refused immediately. "Not going. I have driving lessons this summer. Don't worry about me. I'll stay at Uncle's." My brother clearly hadn't expected me to turn him down. His hand froze midair. "Come on, don't be difficult. Let Lan study in peace. Listen to your brother. Be good." Lan chimed in too. "Yeah, you're always so closed off, only care about studying. If it weren't for me and your brother, no one would even hang out with you, you weirdo. We're doing this for your own good." I smiled coldly. "I don't like socializing because it drains me. Being friends with you is because you're too dumb. I can tell what you're thinking just by looking at you, no need to even guess." Lan turned red with anger immediately. My brother didn't care that we were arguing. He was still trying to convince me to go, his scheming nearly written all over his face. "Not going. If you're really that worried, I'll call Mum." The moment I mentioned Mum, he went completely silent. Because our mother always favoured the smart child at home. Not only was I the doted youngest, but my grades were overwhelmingly top tier. I had skipped grades, and at just 14 I was already taking the university entrance exam. With my brother at home, my word was practically law. Yet even with all that, he still refused to give up. That night, he sat on the edge of my bed, eyes red, even kneeling just to put on a show for our parents who were standing outside the door. He said, "You two work away from home all year. As her brother, all I want is to take her out to relax after the exam." He even dragged up stories from the past, like how he carried me through 3 streets looking for a clinic when I had a fever. My parents had always felt guilty about neglecting their eldest son, so they immediately stepped in and insisted I go with him. I couldn't disobey, so I reluctantly agreed. As the car pulled away from the city, I watched the buildings shrink in the rearview mirror. The phone in my pocket vibrated softly. A message from my future self. "Whatever you do, don't go with them. They plan to sell you. There's rope and sedatives in the trunk." I calmly typed back, "Too late." I could only grip my phone tightly, my fingernails digging into my palm. My brother turned around from the passenger seat smiling as he handed me a chilled juice bottle. "Xiao Kei, I got your favorite flavor." Lan sat beside me, resting her head on my shoulder as if nothing had happened just days ago. "Xiao Kei, look, that's the mountain road ahead. They say the sunrise from the top is beautiful." As she spoke, the faint scent of men's cologne lingered in her hair, the exact scent my brother always used. Because I had been warned beforehand, I was extremely cautious. But during the first few days, they didn't make any suspicious moves. There were no more messages from the future either. My brother took us out to eat and travel every single day. Lan kept taking photos non-stop, whispering, "Gotta document the vacation diary of the top scorer." Just like that, more than a month passed. The exam results were about to be announced, and still they hadn't done anything. I began to wonder, maybe we really are just on vacation. Until that day, my brother said he'd discovered a wild hot spring, then drove us deeper into the mountains. The road became increasingly bumpy, the phone signal flickering in and out. Suddenly, Lan shrieked and pointed out the window. "Look! Are those fireflies?" I turned my head in the direction she pointed, only to catch from the corner of my eye my brother secretly pulling a small brown bottle from the glove compartment. He smiled softly. "You must be tired. I'll stop the car in the forest." He opened the bottle, pouring a bit of the clear liquid into a paper cup. "I got some calming tea from the innkeeper. Have a sip before soaking in the spring, it'll make you feel better." I glanced around darkness as far as the eye could see, not a single light in sight. Just then my phone buzzed non-stop. "There's drugs in the drink. I knew you'd catch on. Don't drink it, but you're just a kid, it won't be easy to escape. Pretend to fall for it." "I've left emergency items for you." I immediately slapped the cup away. The brown liquid splattered all over my brother's beige pants. "What are you doing?" His expression changed instantly, the gentle look from earlier turning savage. Lan screamed and scrambled to the car door, accidentally hitting the window switch. Damp night air and the scent of earth rushed into the car. I tried to make my voice tremble. I need to go to the bathroom." My brother stared at me for 3 seconds, then laughed, but the smile didn't reach his eyes. "Silly girl, why didn't you say so? Lan, go with her. I'll wait here." Lan grabbed my hand and led me into the woods. Once the car was out of sight, she suddenly shoved me hard to the ground. Still pretending she squatted in front of me, her carefully made-up face twisted with malice. "You really think I didn't know the pen was swapped? Luckily, your brother had a backup. Otherwise, I wouldn't have gotten your score." I scrambled back, shaking. Lan looked past me. Behind the trees stood 2 men in camouflage holding burlap sacks. She took out her phone and shoved it in my face. On the screen was a message exchange between her and my brother. "Is everything ready?" The buyer said she has to be alive. Deliver her to the ravine and they'll pay. "Don't worry, I've prepared the sedatives. Once we sell her, I can enter Qing University fair and square. My Lan is the smartest. Once it's done, I'll be with you." Lan raised her chin, sneering at me. "You had a great brother and didn't appreciate it. Serves you right. Don't think being smart means everything. You stole all your parents' love, stepped all over your brother in every way. He's been miserable. This exam was your downfall." The moment she finished, one of the camo men stepped forward and pulled a sack over my head. In the darkness, I could hear Lan's gleeful laugh and my brother's voice echoing from afar. "Be gentle, don't hurt her." When I woke up, I was lying on a dirt bed inside a shabby grey brick house, my hands and feet tightly bound with coarse rope. Outside the window were endless mountain ridges. My phone had disappeared at some unknown point. Creak! The door opened. An old man with a deeply wrinkled face walked in, carrying a bowl of some pitch-black liquid. "Awake, huh? Drink this medicine. Once you do, you'll be the daughter-in-law of our family." He grinned, revealing yellowed teeth. His breath was so foul it made me nauseous. I shook my head violently, tears pouring down my face. Just then, a faint vibration came from beneath the mat. While the old man turned his back, I used my knee to lift the edge of the mat. To my surprise, I touched a phone. It was the phone from my future self. She must have anticipated I'd be brought here and hid the phone in a discreet spot. A new message appeared. "Don't be afraid. He's hard of hearing. Pretend to drink the medicine and pour it into the crack of the bed." In the third drawer of the nightstand is his son's phone. The password is his granddaughter's birthday, 100815. I followed the instructions exactly. While the old man wasn't paying attention, I poured the liquid into the bed crack and feigned unconsciousness. When his snores echoed and he left the room, I used my teeth to open the drawer. Sure enough, I found an old phone. My hands trembling, I unlocked it, entered the code, and called the police with the softest voice possible, reporting the coordinates provided by me from the future. For the next 2 days, I pretended to be obedient so the old man would keep bringing food. Lan and my brother were completely gone, leaving only the old man to brag to the neighbors all day. My son spent a fortune to marry a city bride. On the afternoon of the third day, the sound of police sirens suddenly rang out. A group of officers stormed in, apprehending the old man and his son on the spot. When I was rescued, I saw my parents driving up from the foot of the mountain. My mum clutched me tightly, crying until she fainted. My dad's eyes were red, his voice repeating over and over, "It's my fault. I didn't protect you." That's when I found out after I went missing, my brother was the first to call the police. He cried, saying I had run away from home due to exam pressure. He even took my parents around the whole city for 2 days straight, carefully crafting the image of a 24/7 devoted brother. I wiped my tears and whispered, "Where's my brother?" As my parents helped me into the car, my brother's car pulled up. He jumped out his tie, askew, a dry leaf stuck to his forehead. The moment he saw me in the back seat, his eyes instantly contracted. "2K, are you all right?" He rushed to the window, pressing his hand against it, leaving a foggy print, his voice filled with worry. "Lan and I went to the neighboring county to look for you. There's no cell signal in the mountains." Lan also stepped down from the passenger seat. She was still wearing my pink sun jacket. The moment she saw me, her eyes welled up with tears. "2K, where did you go? We searched for you for 3 days and nights." She pointed to the scratch on my wrist. "You're hurt. Did you run into bad people?" I didn't respond. I quietly turned the phone screen toward them. On it was the latest message from my future self. "There's a hair clip in their trunk that fell off when you were tied up. They plan to blame it on mountain vagrants." I whispered to my parents. My dad immediately threw open the car door and rushed to the back. My brother hurried to open the trunk. Lan screamed, trying to stop him, but my mum yanked her back. Sure enough, inside the trunk was my strawberry-shaped hair clip. Next to it were several pieces of brown rope still stained with blood from when I had struggled. I lowered the car window, my voice icy. "Why would you need to bring all this while looking for me?" He feigned innocence, his lips trembling without a word. Where did this come from?" Suddenly, Lan collapsed to her knees in front of my parents, uncle, auntie. "Don't blame Hao. It was all my idea. I was just too worried, so I thought of faking some clues for the police to find 2K easier." I smiled faintly and pulled out the old phone from the old man's son. It had the entire chat history between Lan and my brother. I pressed play. Under the evening light, Lan's flirtatious voice rang out clearly. "Once she's sold off, I'll use her university admission letter to get into Tsinghua. You just need to say she fell in love and ran away with a boy. She's so reserved, no one will suspect anything. After that, I'll tell your family I want to marry you." Upon hearing this, my mum fainted again, and my dad trembled with fury, slapping my brother so hard his head hit the car door, blood trickling from his mouth. "You are not my son. We raised you for 20 years and you sold your own sister. I thought that was enough evidence." But unexpectedly, my brother suddenly knelt, looking up at my parents with a determined gaze. "I don't understand why 2K is accusing me, but I'm her real brother. How could I do something so heartless? Maybe lately you've been neglecting her and her exam didn't go well. Maybe she made up this story just to get some sympathy." My parents began to waver. The sympathy ploy, he played it perfectly. I pressed my lips together, tears welling in my eyes. "If you say I'm lying, then arrest me right now. I've only got my life to lose. But you'll lose your reputation." As soon as I said it, my parents fell silent, letting the police handcuff my brother and take him away. At the police station, he sat calmly in the interrogation chair, hands uncuffed, while Lan's hands were tied behind her back. She slumped over like a broken doll. During the questioning, my brother spoke sincerely, as if reading from a report. Lan was under a lot of academic pressure. Her mental state was affected, which led her to act irrationally. Lan suddenly raised her head, eyes bloodshot. "Liar! You told me to do it. You promised to make fake documents so I could go abroad. You said I just needed to take the blame." My brother calmly cut her off. "Lan, I know you like me, but you can't pin everything on me just because of that." I stared at his sudden change of face, my whole body turning cold. Then he took out his phone, unlocked the screen, and handed it to Officer Trung. "Take a look. Since 12th grade, Lan's been sending me disturbing messages. She once said, 'I want to cut open Lamke's brain and see what's inside,' or 'If you don't help me, I'll accuse you of rape.'" Lan froze, staring blankly at the screen. "No way! I didn't send those. You faked them." He smiled. "Faked how? Look at the timestamps all from last year. You think I can time travel?" Then he sighed, eyes filled with feigned sadness as he looked at Lan. "Lan, you're really foolish. Even if Lamke is good at studying, you shouldn't have had such dark thoughts." Lan broke down completely. She looked from my brother to me, her lips trembling, unable to speak. That was when I finally understood it wasn't that my brother was blinded by her looks. It was Lan, the one who thought she was clever, who had walked straight into his perfect trap from the start. All the evidence had been prepared by him. Every bank transfer came from Lan's account. The receipt for the sleeping drugs was found in her purse. Even the contact info with the buyer was linked to a number registered under Lan's name. "It was you who made me do it. You said if I followed the plan, I could get into Tsinghua. You even said you'd marry me." Lan finally screamed, lunging at my brother like a madwoman. "When did I ever say I'd marry you?" My brother casually stepped aside, his tone dripping with contempt. Lan, did your exam results fry your brain? You think I'd marry someone who couldn't even pass the university entrance exam?" Officer Trung watched the whole scene, his face growing colder by the second. He signaled for the others to take Lan away, leaving just me and my brother in the room. "Lam Hao," Officer Trung tapped the table. "Your sister mentioned a grade-changing pen. What's that about?" My brother smiled. In his smile was a smugness he didn't bother to hide. "Officer, you really believe things straight out of a novel." He pulled out a pen identical to the one I had held. "This pen, I bought it at a wholesale stationery market, 3 for 1 yuan. Lan kept insisting it was a grade-changing pen. I think the stress from exams made her hallucinate." In the end, the verdict came down. Lan was sentenced to 1 year in prison for human trafficking. My brother was declared innocent and released. The day he left the police station just happened to be the day university entrance exam results were announced. The name at the top of the city's rankings was Clear Lam Hao. As for me, I barely scraped past the cutoff for a top-tier university. I rushed home with my phone only to see my brother being interviewed by reporters. He wore a brand new suit, hair sleekly styled, speaking fluently in front of the camera. Honestly, scoring top rank this year was mostly thanks to staying calm under pressure. "Student Lam Hao, we heard your younger sister Lam Ke also took the exam this year. She usually performs better than you, but this time she only got just enough to pass. Any thoughts on that?" 2K is still young. It's normal she couldn't keep her nerves. I already helped her enroll in a cram school to retake the test." His attitude screamed smug satisfaction, the wind from the courtyard rushing in like galloping horses. After the interview, he walked into my room putting on a fake show of concern, like a cat pretending to cry over a mouse. "It's okay, 2K. If you don't want to retake the exam, I'll tell Mum and Dad to send you abroad instead." I didn't respond. I just stared at him and asked, "So that pen, you were the one using it?" He lifted a shoulder slightly, a flicker of triumph in his expression. "So what? Can't it just be that I worked hard? You really think that little of me?" I smiled softly and said, "Is that so? Then congrats. Hope you never get exposed for the rest of your life." 3 days later was the freshman orientation day at Tsinghua University. I ran into my brother at the reception desk, his expression twisted with disbelief. "What are you doing here? This isn't a place for jokes. I just called Mum and Dad to pick you up for cram school." "No need," I smiled, brushed his hand aside, then pulled from my pocket a gold-embossed business card. The special admissions team from Tsinghua personally invited me. My national gold medal in the Olympiad in informatics qualified me for direct entry into the honors program. Still wearing a smile, he visibly twitched. "Well then, that's good. Congratulations. I guess we'll be schoolmates now." "Of course." I waved him closer, then lowered my voice. Since you're my brother, I'll give you a heads up. The university's holding a placement exam to assess the true capabilities of incoming students. What? His hands clenched so tightly they turned pale. They've never done that before. They really haven't. I blinked innocently. I suggested it. What are you playing at? He pulled me into a quiet hallway, panic written all over his face. I tilted my head, casually smiling. You misunderstood. I just thought everyone says college entrance exams rely a lot on luck. So, why not make the test harder to truly measure ability, like adding parts of MIT's entrance questions? His pupils instantly contracted. I knew with the way he always crammed last-minute forget-emite, he wouldn't even be able to complete the advanced sections of our own national curriculum. Oh, right. I leaned in, voice dropping lower. There's one more thing you should know. The test will be entirely in English computer-based. I waved the candidate's instruction leaflet in front of him. All writing tools will be provided by the school, including pens. His face went ghost white. On the day of the placement exam, he deliberately wore a jacket with an inner pocket. I sat right behind him. Every 5 minutes I saw his hand nervously checking that pocket. Sweat from his palm darkened the fabric visibly. Attention, candidates. Today's assessment includes 3 parts mathematical modeling algorithm design and a full English essay. The system will randomly generate the exam after the countdown ends. The proctor had barely finished speaking when he raised his hand. Excuse me, sir, I need to use the restroom. Sorry, no one is allowed to leave within the first 15 minutes after the test begins. His throat bobbed up and down frantically. Sweat streamed down his forehead, dripping from his chin onto the keyboard. He looked so tense the proctor couldn't ignore it. He circled him a few times, then finally told him to stand up. The metal detector scanned past his fingernails and instantly found a chip the size of a soybean. Gasps rippled through the room. I'm being framed, he turned to me in a panic, eyes wide with fear. Please tell them the truth, I replied flatly. I confirm he cheated. To hide the device, he even tore off his fingernails. You're lying, he roared loud enough to shake the ceiling. As he was dragged out of the exam room, his disheveled silhouette looked like a soaked, pathetic mutt just chased away by the rain. The day the results came out, the school's website crashed 3 times. His score for mathematical modeling was 17 points. He left the algorithm design blank. His English essay, full of spelling errors. Even hello world was spelled wrong. As for me, I scored a perfect score in all 3 sections. The professor even commented on my essay shows potential for doctoral-level research. After discussion, the admissions board revoked the admission of student LH in the university conference room. When the admissions chair slid, the official document stamped in red across the table. He was furiously wiping the tip of his pen. The grade-altering pen now looked like a red-hot iron rod, and his fingers trembled violently. Impossible, he suddenly slammed the table. The pen hit my foot, clattering loudly. I scored 732 on the college entrance exam. You can't do this to me. Oh, right. I bent down, picked up the pen and twirled it in my hand. The Department of Education just received a complaint. They're investigating discrepancies between the handwriting on the top scorer's answer sheet and their regular classwork. If the results prove forgery, that's criminal fraud. I shrugged. If confirmed, that's a felony. His face turned from pale to a sickly green. Suddenly, he grabbed a glass cup on the table and hurled it at me. It whizzed past my ear, smash-shattering. A shard sliced my cheek. Blood trickled down. Right then, my phone buzzed. A message from the future. He's got a backup chip hidden in the pen. Tell the security team to check thoroughly. I immediately reported it to security. Mr. LH, please cooperate. As the guards restrained his flailing arms, I saw the pen slide out from his sleeve. The tip popped open, inside a chip no bigger than a grain of rice. My mother staggered, clutching the edge of a chair. My father slammed his cane against the floor thud. You, truly, are you even human anymore? As my brother was dragged out of the conference room, he suddenly turned back and smiled at me. That smile was twisted, deranged, exactly like the eyes I saw hiding in the forest the night I was sold. You think you've won, don't you? Mom and Dad have only ever loved the smart one. Now that I've lost my chance at school, you think they'll still love you. Enough, my father hissed, lifting his cane and slamming it down on his foot. From this day on, you are no longer my son. 3 months later, while I was coding in the lab of Professor Diao, I suddenly received a notice Lan Lan's sentence had been reduced. In the letter attached, she wrote, "The day my brother was sent to the juvenile facility, he clutched a pen tightly and screamed like a madman, 'Change the scores! Bring me LK!' In the end, the doctor diagnosed him with schizophrenia. The handwriting analysis I'd submitted long ago to the Department of Education had also come back. The writing on his college entrance exam answer sheet was completely forged. Ding, my phone buzzed again, a new message, but this time it wasn't from my future self. It was a video sent from an anonymous inbox. In the clip, my brother sat crouched in the corner of the reformatory, muttering to the air. His hand still gripped that pen, its tip scraping the cement floor, carving out crooked words, LK, scores, give them back. I turned off the video and threw the pen into the lab's trash bin. Just then, a voice echoed from the hallway, the professor calling LK, the results are in. You've been accepted into the MIT exchange program. Start packing. Sunlight poured through the floor-to-ceiling windows spreading across the keyboard. I typed the last line of code, then sent a message to my future self. Dear future, never abandon yourself in the face of adversity. Let the one trapped in that delusion of altered scores live forever in the illusion he forged. Because in this world there is no shortcut that can rewrite fate. Only hands that have truly worked hard have the right to write the answer. Thank you for watching Ken Stories. I hope you enjoyed a relaxing and captivating storytelling experience. If you liked the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Your support gives me the motivation to create more amazing content.